What's going on, everybody? Adam here with eTrailer. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Opti-Brite LED dome light. This light's going to be for your 12-volt DC systems. If your trailer, camper, or RV is running off 24, we're not going to be able to use this light, but we do have some of those on our website. But this one's for 12-volt DC systems. It's going to pull about 0.7 amps, which is a little bit more than some of the other LEDs that you see here on our website. But this one has 18 diodes, and it puts out about 810 lumens. So it's really, really bright. That's why it's going to draw a little bit more, but it's going to draw a lot less than your incandescent bulbs. So if you have some of those in your trailer and you want to take my advice, grab some LEDs, just because we can have twice as many LEDs in the trailer, get twice as much light. They're going to last a lot longer, and we're going to draw half as much, if not even more, than the incandescent bulbs. So the LEDs are the way to go. Whether you're putting it on the inside of your trailer, camper, RV, or on the outside, the whole entire case is going to be waterproof, so you don't have to worry about the water and the elements getting to it. The light's only going to be about 4.5 inches long and about 2 7/8 inches tall, and it's going to stick out from the wall about an inch. All in all, the light is extremely bright. I really like that. I like that it is waterproof, so you're not limited to putting it on the inside. You can also put it on the outside, and also it's LED. I like LEDs compared to the incandescent bulbs for obvious reasons, but we've gone over all the specs, so now the only thing that's left is to show you how to install it. So if you stick around, we're going to show you how we did it. First thing we want to do is figure out exactly where we want our light. I'm just going to replace the light that was here before. I already have wires ran, so if you do, great, we don't have to run any wires, but if you don't, we're going to need a positive and a negative wire. So once you do that, make sure you figure out which one is which, so when we go and hook them up, we're not going to be wasting connectors trying to find that out. So find it out now, and then you can go ahead and put the light to the side. Whenever you do get these wires stripped, be sure to twist them together. And then I like to start just with one wire and not putting both of them in on both sides. This way it's just a lot easier, especially if you're doing it by yourself. Whatever direction you end up twisting it, I like to kind of twist this guy on there, make sure it's all the way in there. So then you can crimp them down. We want to make sure it's nice and secure, because I am going to be hiding these wires into the wall, and I don't want these to come undone if I pull them out, because that would just a little bit more things I have to do. It's just not fun losing wires and having to spend time fishing for them. So once you get them crimped down, it's smart to give them a good tug, make sure they're nice and snug, and then we can go ahead and grab our light. So hook them up. Same deal as before. And once we get all this done, it's always smart to check and make sure that it's going to light up before we shrink these up. So now that the connections are made and they're nice and tight, I'll let that hang. And I'm going to triple check and make sure it works. And if it does, which it does, we can go ahead and proceed. So I'm going to use a heat gun. If you don't have a heat gun, you can use a hair dryer. It's just going to take a little bit longer. But as we start to heat these up, you start to see that it's going to form around the wire. So it's going to, one, seal it from the water, especially since these wires are going to be back behind the wall. It's always nice to make sure it's going to be sealed tight, because sometimes water just gets in between the outside paneling and the interior wood. So as you can see there, it's nice and sealed up, and it's also going to hold on to the wires. So if you didn't crimp them down all the way, it's also going to kind of hold them in place. This gives me peace of mind. And this really is the best way to connect wires, to make sure you have a clean connection, but also definitely a lot better than wire nuts. Wire nuts are not my friend. They always come undone, and they're just bulky, and especially if we're going to have it in the wall, we don't want them to be bulky and get hung up on anything. So once that's all done, we can go ahead and fish our wires back through. Just like that. We want to get it positioned to where we want it. I'm just going to go ahead and do something just like that. And the hardware is not included, so you are going to need 4 screws. And what I'm just going to use is just wood screws. And we don't want to be too, we don't want to tighten it down too tight because we don't want to crack the housing. So power tool isn't necessary for this. I'm just being extremely gentle. So if you are going to use power tools, be really gentle with it and not to over tighten. Are done. And that'll do it for a look at the Opti-Brite LED dome light.